And I think I am live now. Cool. This is my first time using the YouTube live streaming like interface. Usually I use like OBS or something like that. So sorry if it's weird. Sorry if it's weird with the colors. Just realized how distracting Pikachu is back there. But I figured I would do this episode a little differently. I've been wanting to go live for a while now. I used to do it all the time. And I thought, why not do a live tasting of these two different versions of the same whiskey? I have recently, as you saw, may have seen in my last video, fell in love with Knob Creek Single Barrel. It is probably my favorite cask strength bourbon that I've tried so far. Now, I've only tried a few, so I'm not an expert in it, but this stuff is so good. Sorry, I'm trying to get used to where my camera is. This stuff is so good. So I actually went to a liquor store in Studio City, California today and came across a bottle of Knob Creek Single Barrel. Is that backwards for you guys? It's backwards for me. So just curious. I came across Knob Creek Single Barrel from the actual store. Now the store is called The Flask. So I don't know if you guys know much about what like a store pick is. I don't know how far along in your bourbon journey you're in. But basically what happens is a lot of distilleries will give you the option to, well, if you're like a liquor store or, a restaurant or whatever, they'll give you an option to actually go to the distillery and try a bunch of different barrels. And you pick your favorite and you get to put your store's name on it and you get to keep that whole barrel's worth of bourbon, which is really cool. And I would love to go on those. If there's like a local liquor store that wants to have someone come along and film videos for you, I'm your guy. But yeah, so like I said, I love the regular Knob Creek Single Barrel. So I thought it would be fun to try side by side with a store pick and see if there's actually a difference. The biggest difference that is very clear from the get-go is regular Knob Creek is aged 9 years, according to the bottle. So I think it's actually a mix of a few different years, but it averages out at actually, no, it isn't because it's single barrel. Duh. regular Knob Creek is like a blend, so it's kind of like a blend of a certain, range in years. But this is actually single barrel. So this one is aged about 9 years. But this new store pick that I picked up was actually barreled in 2004, which means this is 13 years old. It says it was bottled in 2017. So 13 compared to 9 is a pretty big difference. I think in terms of aging whiskey. Now, in terms of price, a lot of times they're the same price, but, stores vary from store to store. I actually found a great deal on this at one of the local stores I go to. This regular single barrel, the regular single barrel is around $37 compared to like regular Knob Creek, which is, like 22. This store pick that I picked up was a little more expensive. It was 50, and I don't think that's because it's like extra aged or anything. I think it's just, like I said, very store by store. And this actual store was called The Flask. I've never actually been there before, but their whiskey selection is crazy. Like they have Pappy, they have like all of these really rare, expensive whiskeys, of course, at really expensive prices, but, way out of my range. Like, sorry, you're not getting that review on this channel. Not yet. But yeah, so they had like a huge selection. Their prices are a little higher than I'm used to for like the, everyday bourbon. But yeah, I wanted to try this. So I am going live and doing it now. So like 2 minutes before I started this live stream, I poured 2 glasses. This glass contains the regular single barrel. That's hard to say. And this one contains the store pick. Yeah, so I like to like I've said before, I like to let my whiskeys kind of sit out for a minute, just kind of aerate a bit. I feel like it brings out a lot of flavors that you don't get if you do it, straight up out the bottle. So yeah, so I guess I'll go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for showing up if you're here live or if you're rewatching this. Hopefully YouTube lets me do a replay of this. I know previously I would just record the live stream and then like upload it separately. But yeah, I'm trying this out, so hopefully it works out okay for you. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the regular single barrel. This is, like I said, my favorite go-to cask strength bourbon that I've had, especially for the price. I mean, come on, like $36, like that's crazy. I mean, the only other, no, there's really not. I mean, I get a lot of bottled and bond bourbons, which are 100 proof. This is 120 proof, which is crazy high for the price. So yeah, I'll go ahead and start with nosing it, I guess. Like I said, I haven't done anything. I haven't even like smelled these since I poured them. So I'm going to get like a true live reaction to this. Yeah, so let me just make sure I'm doing okay with audio. If you guys can't hear me or something, let me know. But yeah, so let's start with nosing this. Yeah, it's good. I bragged about this. If you saw my last live video where I compared 3 different price points with bourbon, it was a series that I'm thinking about continuing. I'm not really sure, based on the response of it. I was getting, some good feedback, some, people don't seem that interested in it. I have a whole nother episode filmed. I just haven't edited it. So yeah, if you guys like that, let me know. Like, go comment on the video and let me know you want me to continue it. Because like I don't want to, put out this stuff, if I could save this for maybe later, like when I'm a little more bigger of a channel, I'm glad to save it. But I just thought it was a really cool concept, so I wanted to get it out there. So yeah, so on the nose, you get basically, I mean, I kind of described this as the perfect example of what a bourbon should be. There's nothing, super special about it. Sorry if you hear my cat. I kind of put him in the bathroom because he was climbing all over my desk and I did not want him to spill this. So yeah, is that mean? We put our cat in the bathroom when he's being extra annoying, and then we like get super loving afterwards. Anyways, side note. So sorry if you hear like meowing in the background. So yeah, on the nose, you get, it has a little more fruitiness than I kind of remember, because it's been a while since I've actually tried this. I've been trying a bunch of other ones that I've recently picked up. So you get, the vanillas, the caramels. I'm not going to go through the typical bourbon notes, the good bourbon notes that you want in a bourbon. So you get a lot of that, but I'm getting like a light fruity note as well. Not as much oakiness as I got last time I tried this in my last video. But I know I'm going to pick that up on the taste, because that's like one of the primary flavors of Knob Creek that I've found. So yeah, that is great. It smells great, but it smells, average. By average, I mean, your average scents that you want to pick up in a bourbon. So let's move over to the store pick, which is the 13-year-old Knob Creek. Oh wow, it is different. That's getting like a floral. Like I hear a lot of people who do bourbon reviews say that something has a floral note, and I never really get it, but yeah, there's like a lot of fruitiness and floralness going on with this bourbon. Like that is the first for me. I know a lot of people, or maybe I just haven't noticed it as like a floral note before. I've noticed the same note on the nose, but not the actual considered a floral. That's very different. It's almost like a fruit punch, like a wine. Like that sounds odd. I mean, if you guys are rewatching this and you have tried Knob Creek, like a single barrel before, and you've got the same note, let me know. Or maybe I'm just going crazy. Yeah, so I'm almost not even getting a lot of the basic bourbon notes that you typically get with bourbon, which is odd. That's so strange. Like I have never smelled anything like that. Okay, I'll stop going off about it because it's completely unexpected. And you know what? This place is a specialty wine store, so I'm wondering if they got a hint of their wine noses to it, and that's why they picked it. Potentially. I don't know. It's worth a guess. Yeah, that's so interesting. So let's go on and move on to the taste. I don't want to drag on too long because I don't really know about like timing these live streams. I don't know what I'm spending too much time on. When I'm doing like a produced video, I like edit it down and get, my favorite parts. But with a live stream, it's kind of hard to tell what is, gonna drag on. So sorry if I'm dragging on a bit. So, oh no, did I forget what? Okay, no, this is at least with the nose being so different, I can't forget which one is which because I was worried about doing that early on. So I'm gonna put them beside these actually, so I don't accidentally forget. Going back to the nose on this one though, it's so different. I mean, it's good, but this is like typical bourbon. That is like a floral, fruity, I don't know, wine. I keep saying wine. I'm not even a wine like person, but it smells like wine in a good way. So let's try the regular single barrel. Yeah, it's good. I mean, the finish on it is one of my favorite things. I mean, I know I just tasted it, but that's one thing I remember about it. the taste just kind of slowly rolls across your tongue. It gets spicy, but as soon as it's almost at to the point where you're like, oh, that's too much, because I'm drinking it, 120 proof, that's really high. When it's almost too much, it immediately goes down, and it's so nice, and so the stuff just tastes so good. That's why Knob Creek is my favorite barrel proof that I've tried. I haven't tried some of the crazy ones because I'm currently on a budget, but that's so good. You do get some of the fruitiness in it. Maybe I'm just picking up on it more because I'm paying more attention to it because of the nose on the store pick. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, the smell of this doesn't have any of that like wine type of note that I got on the other one. Taste it one more time. Like I said, with the taste, you pick up a lot more of the oaky wood notes that you don't really get on the nose of it. I love that in bourbon. Woodford Reserve is kind of one of my guilty pleasure ones. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it has a lot of the oaky notes that I like in this as well. So that's just something I like. I know a lot of people may not like that as much. That's just one of my favorite flavors. And when you mix that with the vanillas and the caramels, I think it really just comes out with, I don't know, it's just a great experience. That's why I like bourbon. It's just like you drink vodka, it gets you drunk. That's about it. Bourbon, you could actually savor the flavors. So that's why I really like trying these single barrels, trying these cask strengths, because there's nothing else like them. Like you can try a mixed drink that has a lot of flavors, but you can't get that from straight liquor. Love the honeycomb background. Yeah, so this one came in our apartment. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I mean, I've gotten compliments on it, so I guess that's cool. But yeah, it's a little odd for, I don't know. I'll just take credit for it. I designed this. Yeah. And Pikachu was currently there. We won this at Dave & Buster's, so like we haven't found out where to put it yet. Yeah, so I will go on and taste the store pick of this, the 13-year-old compared to the 9-year-old, and see if there's a difference. Interesting. There's a difference. It's definitely not as drastic of a difference as I kind of expected. And some people may wonder why I'm not doing this blind. A lot of people would do like a blind tasting side by side. I'm doing it this way because, one, I am not going into it with the preconceived notion that the store pick is better. A lot of times I know stores can be really, especially if they're a wine store, like, is their judgment really that good? Of course, they do say wine and whiskey, but like 90% of the store is wine. There's like a whiskey section over on the side. So I don't know if I trusted their judgment. So that's why I didn't do this blind. But yeah, that's interesting. It almost has like a milk chocolatey like thickness to it. Like there's like a dark sweet note that I'm not used to with the regular single barrel. I think off first impressions, do I like it better? I think so. But then again, I also paid like $15 more for this compared to the regular one. But honestly, if you told me that like there was a 9-year version and a 13-year version, would I pay $15 for 4 more years of aging? Absolutely. And I think maybe that's what justifies it more so than, being a store pick versus the regular. Knowing exactly how long this is aged is a huge plus, at least in my book, compared to just being, 9 years, which you don't actually know if it's aged exactly 9 years. It's aged at a minimum of 9 years. I'm not going to like underplay that. Like it's definitely a minimum of 9 years, or they wouldn't put it on the bottle. But knowing exactly that this was barreled. So this is barrel, by the way, I guess I should say which barrel. It's barrel number 5,424, hand selected by the flask on December 1st, 2004. So that is when it was actually barreled. It was barreled on December 1st. Oh, it's not focusing. I think it's my background. There we go. I don't know if that's backwards for you guys. If it is, sorry. Before YouTube existed. I know that's what's crazy. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird, but I'm like really nostalgic about things being aged that long. Like that's cool to me. Like, I don't know. Something about it, knowing that this was actually like how old was I? I was like 11. I had just turned 11. knowing that this was like put in a bottle when I was, or in a barrel when I was 11 years old is so cool. I don't know. Maybe it's like just a nerdy, like guilty obsession or whatever, but that's why I've kind of gotten into bourbon and whiskey, because I just am fascinated by the fact that this sits in a barrel, picks up all these flavors just mostly from the barrel. I think that's so cool. But yeah, so let me go back to the regular single barrel. Oh, the finish on that one. So it's about the same like length of a finish, but I'm getting a lot more like, I want to say like wheat or oat. Yeah, it's kind of like, this sounds weird, but it's kind of like when you go to Subway and eat a sandwich at Subway. Like if you get the oat, like they used to have a honey oat bread. Do they still have that where you guys are? I don't know. For me, they got rid of it. It's almost got like a honey oat kind of, well, I don't know if it was honey oat, but well, I guess it is because honey notes are in bourbon, you know. But I get like an oaty, nice like bread type aftertaste, which is, again, that's not something I normally would get from a bourbon that isn't specifically like a wheated bourbon like Larceny. Larceny, I get that a lot. Because I mean, it's a note that you don't typically pick up on like these higher. I don't actually know the mash bill of this, but I imagine it's like a higher rye mash bill. It's not like a wheated mash bill. So let me go back to the regular single barrel and try it one more time and see, you know, if I can define it, if this potentially is the better one. So this is the regular single barrel. That is so hard for me to say. I can't. Single barrel reserve. Hey, Jeremiah. So let's try this again. Let's just make sure that I don't actually prefer this one and I'm just being excited by the new and different taste of the store pick. Oh, hi, Gertrude. Sorry, your username shows up as Jeremiah. Welcome. Thank you for coming. So in terms of spiciness, if you're someone that like can't handle like spicy, especially with 120 proof, that is hot for someone that's new to this. This single barrel, I mean, again, it's single barrel, so it can vary depending on which single barrel you get. I understand that, but this is the regular single barrel Knob Creek. It is 120 proof bourbon, aged 9 years. So I'm comparing it. By the way, thank you for showing up. So just a recap, I'm comparing regular Knob Creek single barrel with this bottle that I just picked up. Oop, I almost spilled it. I knew that was going to happen, but I didn't spill it. With this store pick. So this store actually went to the distillery and picked their own barrel. So I'm kind of comparing to see if it's better that way. And it's actually aged 13 years compared to 9 years. So just trying them side by side, just doing it live because it's Saturday night and I don't have anything else to do. So I figured this would be fun. Instead of just trying it, you know, on my couch alone, you know, you guys are cool. So let me go back to the store pick from the flask. Now that it's been sitting a little bit longer, there are a lot more of the typical bourbon notes. Like there's almost like a honey sweetness. Like I don't usually get that, especially with Knob Creek. I haven't gotten that before. Yeah, that's really nice. That's definitely better. Like I think it's probably from the extra aging, to be honest. You get way more. It's very oak forward, which again, like I said earlier, that's my guilty pleasure. I love oaky bourbons. But there's like a lot more going on with it in terms of the flavor. You're getting some kind of floralness that I don't typically get from it. So I'm going to add a little bit of water just as like a final taste test. I kind of am pretty much already decided that I like the store pick better, but let's add some water. Can you barely taste the difference? Haha, very funny. No, I can definitely tell that there is a difference. I just, in deciding which one I like better, it's kind of a little more tough. So I'm going to add a little bit of water. I wish I kind of had like one of those droppers that you can like carefully measure this, but I don't. By the way, I got this glass from a place called Milk and Tea. It's like this like boba type shop in LA. I actually first saw it on another YouTuber's channel. She was like, she wasn't even actually visiting. It's Sophia. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Sophia something. She does a bunch of like weird comparisons. But they were actually going to mix some kind of lipstick thing. And they like, we're going to do it at this Milk and Tea place. And I was like, oh, that looks interesting. Cause I looked at their menu and behind it, I was like, oh, that sounds good. Where's that? And it's literally very close to me. So I actually went there. Sorry, sidetracked. I get sidetracked a lot on live streams. If you've watched me before live, you should know that. So I put a little. I'm trying to put the same amount of water in each of them. Oh, maybe a little bit more in that one. Oh well, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just gonna I guess I should show you guys. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Ideally, you would probably want to actually let it sit and mix. I think I put too much water in that one, to be honest. I'll just match it and put the same amount in this other barrel. This other glass. Oh yeah, I watered these down a little too much, but again, this is just kind of like a final thoughts. So I'm gonna go to the store pick one last time. Now on the nose, I'm back. So it transitioned. So earlier, the nose, it started floral, then went really woodsy, and now that I added water, it's back to the floral aspect. And I'm almost getting this almost smells more like Jim Beam. Like it has that kind of banana thing that I don't particularly like about bourbon. Oh yeah, I watered that down way too much. But I'm still getting a lot of the wood, vanilla-y flavors. I just kind of wish I hadn't watered it down so much. I'm still perfecting my craft for these videos / live streams. So sorry. So let's go to the regular single barrel. So for that one, for the store pick, adding water brought out a lot more of the fruity, interesting, different notes to it. Adding water to the regular single barrel brought out more of the caramel notes. I mean, if I was just going off of adding water to it, which by the way, I typically do something like that with barrel proof stuff. I either add water or put an ice cube because drinking them straight is a little tough for me. Although today I did it pretty well, so maybe I'm getting better. Honestly, by adding water, I prefer the regular single barrel. I don't know. It brings out a lot of the flavors that I really like about bourbon. So, yeah. But that's I wouldn't normally add that much water, so don't use that as my opinion. So definitely, I much prefer, and probably $15 worth more prefer this Knob Creek single barrel from Flask, which by the way, they added this little bottom part to it. I think that's not an official Knob Creek logo. It says distilled in 2004, bottled in 2017, exclusively for Flask, fine wine, and whiskey. So yeah, nice job, the Flask. If you ever see this video, you did a great pick with this, and I'm excited to try more of your barrel picks, especially if you lower your prices a little bit to be more competitive with other liquor stores around. No, I mean, I don't mind that I paid this, and the people there were super friendly and cool. So I am very happy with my purchase. Will I go back to the store to pick up this single barrel again before going back and buying another bottle of this? Probably not, because I have other whiskeys right now that are store selects that I got to get through first, and I don't want to spend way too much money because I've been doing that a lot lately. But will I, if you guys still have this in stock next time I'm in that part of town, yeah, I'll pick it up. It's great. Has some more interesting notes than I would ever expect from a Knob Creek bourbon. Yeah, I just like it a lot. If you guys have tried Knob Creek, whether it's the regular Knob Creek, the single barrel 120 proof Knob Creek, or a store select, let me know if you like it. For me, it's one of my favorites right now. But my opinion is always changing day to day. So who knows? I may, hate this in a year from now. Probably not. I love it a lot. But thank you all so much for watching. Whether you're watching this live or watching the replay, I would like to do more live streams. So if you like this, let me know. Leave me a thumbs up. And yeah, subscribe if you aren't subscribed yet. I wanted to do a lot more with this channel. I haven't done a lot lately. I'm still kind of trying to figure out what I want to do with it. For a while, I was doing something that I feel like would be trendy and cool and popular and get lots of views. But lately, I'm just kind of in the mindset that I want to do what's fun for me. And that's why I kind of switched to doing these whiskey bourbon reviews, or starting with bourbon, but I would like to branch out a little bit more. Because they're fun for me. It's like a current hobby. I know that sounds weird to say alcohol is a hobby, but in terms of tasting the different ones and comparing them, that's a hobby for me. And there's a whole whiskey community out there on YouTube. A couple shout outs while I'm doing this, because why not? The channel that really got me into bourbon is called It's Bourbon Night. Chad and Sarah are wonderful co-host. Literally every time they go live and every time they put out a new video, I am like clicking on that and watching that as fast as possible. They are just such a cool YouTube channel, and their personalities are so awesome. So they are who inspired me to start making these videos. So if you haven't heard of It's Bourbon Night, look them up. Especially if you're like remotely interested in whiskey videos, check them out. Another shout out to This Is My Bourbon podcast. The guy that runs that name is Perry, and he's like close with Chad and Sarah, but like he's just been really cool. And he's been really supportive. I've gone to his live streams, and he's just a cool guy. So check out It's Bourbon Night. This is my Bourbon podcast. Of course, there's the Whiskey Tribe, Austin Whiskey Tribe. I love watching their videos too. They post daily, so on my lunch break, I'm watching their videos. Yeah, there's just so many great. Well, actually, there's not that many. That's what's interesting. There's only a few bourbon channels or whiskey channels on YouTube. And I don't know, it's just like a niche thing that like I just love watching, and like my YouTube recommends their videos all the time. So check out those channels. There's more out there. The Scotch Test Dummies, Trini and C. There's just a lot of them out there. So just search Whiskey Review. You'll find some awesome channels, and hopefully you'll find mine. Maybe that's how you found this video. I don't know. Let me know. But yeah, that was a tangent. I was just saying that like that's why I have started doing these, because they're fun for me, and I kind of am starting to sort of figure out what I'm talking about. If not, sorry. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you haven't checked out my other bourbon videos, check them out. They're on my channel, or I don't know if I can add a card to this at the end page of this. I don't know. I haven't gone live with this YouTube thing in so long. So if you can't see that, just go to my channel. And if you are interested in seeing more, don't forget to subscribe and like this video and like my bourbon videos, because I don't know, I'm just trying to grow my channel a little bit more, more so doing what I like doing versus doing what's popular, because for a while that was my focus. And now it's like, I'm not trying to make a living off of YouTube. I'm trying to make it a fun escape from real life. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next video or live stream or whatever I do. So thanks so much. Bye.